Whereas friend 2, name every logbook. I don't even think I could. There's too many items in this game, actually. You don't really think about it, how much stuff is actually in the game, but there's a lot. I don't even know, like, all the names of, all the items, actually, because I just fucking Wranglish everything, which makes it, like, impossible. New recurrent streamer trend, time how long it takes to name every item. I feel like, I would do maybe average on that. I don't know, I'm not, like, I was never the best at, like, immediate recollection of, groups of things. There's always something I feel like I'm missing that I can never, like, draw onto. Memory like that takes a specific amount of time to be trained for and stuff, and I just, like, I don't. Last response mean I think you're relapsing? That's alright. You throw every now and then to keep you humble. Also, I feel like when I'm, like, not playing for specific streaks or anything, I just don't care as much. Not to say that I'm not trying. I am trying very much to win, but I'm not, like, giga focus, my life depends on it kind of situation either. This is an impossible choice. I'm gonna go speed though. Maybe you can make the Poke Wrap out of item name. Yeah, it'd have to be some like mnemonic like memory device or something. It's the best way. The other way too is just like associations, right? So what some people do is think of like a deck of cards, because you know every card in a deck of cards. It's really not that hard, right? You can name every card, and what you can do with that is be like, okay, in the ace of spades is the opal, and so you just remember that that is the association with that, and you really tie that together. And then to memorize, like, let's say, like over 100 things, you can be like, okay, the opal and the wrap are both ace of spades. That's like the box category that I place it as in my head, and I think it's goes down that path, which is really interesting actually. It's like Memory Palace, exactly the concept, yeah. It's really interesting, and honestly, I feel like I could do so much more with that if I like took the time and really sat down and like try to do some things, but memory's hard. Let's get this actually. It's crazy, you're just describing computer memory reference addresses. Cool. I mean, it's just logical though, right? It's just like a logical pathway to memory association. It's not unreasonable. I feel like that'd be a fun challenge though, to kind of make a test for myself to see if I can memorize a bunch of things. I don't know, like the thing is like most computer like mechanical language is derived from just like the simplest kind of like things like this, even if it feels like it's done in a roundabout way. But I think it would be cool. I think if we sat down and took like the logbook and did that with items, I could be pretty efficient. To make anything, you need to set, you need to remember a song with music and your set. There's a lot of different ways we can use to memorize things. That's one way, because naturally we're conditioned to remember tunes and like linguistic patterns with rhythm. But another thing is just to like reinforce physical like attributes to like memory, so like writing with like a pencil on paper, and even throwing away the piece of paper will just make you remember something more, because you're combining the conscious thought into physicality with nerve memory, which is really interesting. And if you write it down like 5 times on a piece of paper, you are like way more likely to remember that thing, because it also takes a lot longer to write something, and it takes more like nervous memory than it does to like type. With typing, I don't know, it's not the same neural pathway. Chewing the same flavor gum when you study something, and then when you need to remember it again. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it, because like the senses of smell and taste are of like very strong relation to memory. Like they're hooked right the fuck in, right? So if you try to take advantage of something like that, like a specific smell will make you think of a memory. You go to your grandma's house and you smell that specific meatball recipe that she used to make when you were a kid, it's going to make you remember it. And that's why those things happen, because we're so, like, those things are so linked. So if you try to abuse that in some way, it might make it easier. Music memory is crazy. I think I could sing songs one that I haven't heard in years. Yeah, like I'll open like the oldies radio or something and like sing a full song with lyrics of a song I haven't heard since I was like 10. That's like such a powerful connection. You see a lot of diagrams and colors for notes, then I could throw away the notebook and never look at it again because it got imprinted in memory. Yeah, it's the action of doing it, not as much the to look back on, which I think is really interesting. Like, most people think like notes are for rereading, but all you're doing is training yourself in the process of studying. That's what it's for, not to look back on later usually. I mean, like, obviously there are reasons why you'd want notes again, right? But I think we kind of lost track of that a little bit in the era of computing. I think it's easier to forget a lot more. ATG burn, okay, we won. When, like, typing on a phone or a keyboard is less, like, intrinsically linked to memory than some of these other habits are. I start with people names, though, unless they make a very conscious effort to associate them. Names are sometimes tricky. It kind of can fall under the category of, like, so let's say, so like, for example, recall, like what I was talking earlier. Recall is hard because it's like a different section of memory. I think about recall as in like what's available in the hard drive of your brain, less of what's like your RAM is like kind of using, right? And so you have to like pull out things that you weren't actively associating with anything or anything like that, and it's really hard to do. Like, for example, if I told you, okay, name every book right now that you've ever read in your life, or name every TV show that you've ever watched, you'd be like, I can't fucking do that, dude. I don't even know where to start. But if I had a list of every, like, book, and I said check off the ones you have read, you would be able to do it. Our brain knows what we know, but it's like it can't recall batches in that way. So it needs to have like a connection or something first. And that's why when I say like, oh, have you seen this show? You'd be like, yeah, of course I have seen that show. But if I had just asked the question, name every show, you would have never even thought about that show. It needs a prompt. Yeah, it needs that association box. How many TGs can I actually lead with here? Well, at least 8. So, can I get an ATG? Nope. No ATG. No ATG. Got one? Never mind. Neural, the one time I really don't want a neural. Like, I never really want a neural, but like, you know what I mean? Basically all I'm saying is that I have a shitty memory. I forget things on Risk of Rain stages all the time, so I need to do something. I can name maybe 10 songs out of my 200 song playlist right now, but when I'm listening to it, I know the name of the song without even looking like 90% of the time. Yeah. You know the exact name, you know exactly how the rhythm of the song goes, each part of the song. If you know how to whistle, you could probably whistle the whole song from beginning to end, as long as, like, you have the song playing. But if I then told you to whistle every song in your library, you wouldn't even know where to start. It's like magic, honestly. But it's like shitty magic, because it's like, I should just be able to know what I've done, but I can't. Why can't I just know what my life is and my experiences have been? What do you mean? I want some AoE. Doing the math right, a single ATG proc off crowd charge deals 96,000% damage. That's pretty cool. You guys just play music in your head? Dude, I've been playing music in my head. You ever dream of music? I do. I never thought that being unable to remember large parts of your life was normal. That's the thing. It's like things that I guess people don't really talk about a lot, but okay, so be playing Risk and streaming all in his head. I don't have that good of visualization, though. I wonder the effect of specifically visualization versus memory. Because I would suspect that someone with better visualization would be a better memorizer for things. I would just assume, but that's not always been the case as far as, like, things translating directly to ability from better visualization. Like, you can fly in dreams. I've never been able to fly in my dreams. My dream archetypes have not been so generous. Though I often make myself laugh in my own dreams, dude. Like, just funny situations and stuff. Like, I dreamt last night that I was, like, talking to my friend in the car, and, like, I opened up his phone because he was driving to, like, change the music or something, and, like, I alt-tabbed on his phone for some reason, and there was literally, like, 1,000 fucking tabs open on his phone, and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, it's just, like, it helps me, I like it, and I was like, you know what makes your phone slower? It's like, perhaps. I was like, I could not convince him away from it. It was just like, the situation was so stupid. I just woke up laughing. It's like, I just like the tabs, man. Like, I love dreaming. It's weird that I dream so much for someone who has, I would say, poor visualization than I guess, like, what is considered good visualization. Has your mental apple Okay, so let's do like a mental apple test in chat. So if you can summon an apple in your mind, and it's like Giga HD, you're what's known as... I mean, I don't like the scale they use, so I'm gonna make up my own. Let's just put you at a 3. Giga good apple. Fucking... You can see the fucking dew on the apple, the crisp, the color. So you're a 3. If your apple's like fucking gray and amorphous and kind of like meh, and it goes like 1 FPS when you turn it, you're like a 2. If your apple is like a suggestion of an apple and not even that, then it's a 1. And if you have no visualization, you're a 0. What do we post your score? I'm curious. So I personally am like I'm like a 1.52. Like mine's like gray, low FPS, like sometimes just kind of vague suggestions of things. Mine's not very good. Remember an apple, I could very clearly tell it's constructed from memories of an apple. So yours is more of like a suggestion of an apple instead of like being able to visualize something new. Can you spin a horse? I feel like I can. Kind of, but it's very low FPS and it's very like not amazing. Can you color shift BG? I don't really have color in mine. It's really hard to summon color. It's like very washed out color. It's hard for me. But I wonder, like, so if you posted a 3, if you were a Giga Visualizer, how is your memory, would you say? Would you say it's shit? And like, you know, give yourself an honest score out of 10. Like, would you say it's just normal? If it had 3 horses and a gyroscope pattern with NVIDIA hair FX on the mains. Dude, I cannot remember even what 3 horses look like for that to happen, dude. Normal but selective. First time I started a little bit good with remembering numbers. It's interesting. Theory of my memory is a dice roll for if I remember something forever, forget 5 minutes later. And I wonder if this is like causality of like user error, I would call it, of like not training your brain to remember things properly, or if it's just like, you know, some people just have worse memories or whatever. Because I feel like memory is something you can absolutely train. I just don't really feel like most people do. Part budget with the GPU, I guess so. No hard drive or RAM. Memory is weird. Visually I'm at 3+, but sound memory is bad for me. I try to remember music and can't quite get the notes and beats perfect most of the time. I feel like that's interesting too. Sound memory is something else, I would say, that's not like directly visualization, because my sound memory I think is pretty good. If I think about a sound hard enough, I can like make myself think I hear the sound. Does that make sense? Like I can visualize with sound. I kind of have to be kind of not in a very awake and like active mindset, more of like a relaxed kind of thing, but interesting. So if you posted a score of like 1 to 2 or lower on the Apple test, what would you say your score is for sound? Let's say it's like a similar rating, like 3 is like giga perfect, 2 like, I don't know, it kind of sounds blurry or something, 1, I don't know, you kind of remember descriptions of what the sound was like, or like 0, you have no fucking idea. Okay, so that's interesting. So the people with low visualization, so far in my small chat study, have higher sound visualization. High both? I imagine that's like not so uncommon either, though. More of you, huh? Do you have a scrapper, so kind of depends if it's music or not. What if it's just someone's voice, or the sound that something made, not necessarily music, the pitch of some specific thing or whatever. My visual is 3, my audio is 4, but how does haptic memory work? I don't know. Like, I think because there's so many nerve endings on the tongue, like most people know that like you can imagine how something feels on your tongue if you felt it with your fingers, which is a really interesting kind of concept. It's all really like nerve memory and stuff, and like the synapse relation to feeling something. Physical long-term memory is something that I feel like is often, for me, easy to forget. It's hard to feel how something feels physically. Like, oh, I got hurt, but like I can't summon what that felt like. I can't really remember that well. I remember it was bad, the concept of it feeling terrible, but I can feel like I can know exactly what it felt like to have emotional pain. Even though that's like different, dude. I'm gonna say it, because like ATG is like not proccing at all. So I try to think about what it feels like to grip my mouse. The memory is blurry, even though it was like touching it a minute ago. Yeah, it's hard to remember that. I think physical memory has to be so like repetitive to be locked in memory the same way. I mean, we'll give up one band if the soup is really good. I almost actually just asked myself like if there was anything else in the stage, but I had a radar scare in my inventory. I got hit by a car and broke my shoulder when I was young, and I can't even... And even though my shoulder is still messed up 7 years later, I can't imagine what it was like when it happened. I can near perfectly visualize this one frame where I first saw the car and knew I fucked up. And I think just physical memory is hard, and I think the reason for that too is we're like constantly like cycling out physical cells and stuff, especially in our skin. Like, I don't know, I feel like that explains long-term memory, but maybe not short-term memory, because like not knowing how something felt like a minute ago is kind of like, it might just be that physical feelings are just too far away from the brain. Does that make sense? That could just be like how easy it is. There's so many chains of nerves that you have to go through to get to a feeling and back that it just may not be like as like able to be recalled. Some evolutionary thing that makes us forget physical pain, that too. It feels like more of like we want to be able to forget it. It's not actually a benefit to remember how bad. I mean, but like maybe it is a benefit to remember how bad something was, though, so we don't do it again. I don't know, I feel like it could go either way, but it might drive us insane. The other part of having good visualization is that I can't trust my visual memories. The car thing reminded me of how I got hit by one too, and I remember the entire thing in third-person perspective. Interesting. I think that it is also interesting how some memories... I saw like one time as like a joke thread or something, but like if you have third-person memories, you're just a fucking NPC. You're just not a main character, sorry. That was implanted by the government. You're fake. Probably more important to remember that was bad, avoid that, than exactly how much it hurt. Yeah. I hear a scav. We high rolled, that's why we came here. Our most memories just memories of memories after a while and get pretty sketchy. Because that's true, we remember ourselves remembering something sometimes more often than we do the actual thing that happened. Like, everyone has had an experience at least once where they were like talking with someone or something and about something that happened in the past, and you said something that just like was verifiably not true, and you're like, damn, I was remembering it wrong this whole time. I thought about it differently in my head for years. Mandela effect, but like in our own heads, right? Like, you can't remember how a conversation was perfectly 10 years later. Even if it was like a very important conversation to you, if it's like any longer than, you know, X amount of time spent in the conversation. What you can remember is how you felt. And that's what's like really interesting about like language and memory. Someone will remember perfectly exactly how you made them feel, even if they don't even remember what you did or what you said. That carries over a little bit more. Where is the scat? I hear him. It's underneath or something. Sometimes you repeat a story so much that you only remember part of the story you tell, not the events. Yeah, our brain is a big copy machine and we're just trying our best. Oh, he has a recycler, dude. I've never been able to get a scav to recycle an item. Is it theoretically possible? He has Baos, so like he'll never use Baos. I don't want to kill him down there because he'll just drop all the items offside, so. In the memory visualization stuff though, I can close my eyes and go through the entire path I took from one place to the other, but if I had to tell someone to draw a map, it would be really fucking hard. But couldn't you just close your eyes and see what you see and like draw each bit at a time? Theoretically anyway. Like, I have visualization that's clearly not as good as yours, but so I don't know. But like, I have decent enough so where I could probably draw a path from how I got from A to B. It's so much damage, we're just chilling. Shouldn't use Baos? That is correct. Are items team-based? I don't think so. I think items are just on the ground. I don't know, maybe. Because, like, enemies can't pick up items on the ground, so... I'm gonna see if there's a recycler. If you can get like a plimp, or sorry, polyloot out of that, that would be insane. I might get wings actually. Items have no concept of teams when they're on the ground. The only item, or the only thing that lets players pick up items enemies is the actual player controller. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so theoretically, if the scav was aiming the right way and activated their equipment perfectly in front of an item, they should be able to reroll it. I've tried to get them to do it. It's hard, but like it's kind of like it's probably like a gun drone gunning a boss. It's like it's just really hard to do. I mean, they're just too polite. It would be cool. Correct. Make a terrible mod where you items can be picked up by enemies, and to get it back, you have to kill the fucking enemy for it. There you go. I don't think there's anything else. I'm picking it up. I need some speed, man. It's calling to me. Dude, actually, like, literally? No, I got rid of the fuel cell, bro. No. It would have been so good. I love when he puts his little feet in the ground. Okay. Very good. In accordance with that mod would be pretty scary though. Probably. Manifesting and rain dancing for FMP. Please, dude. What in the enemies picking up the equipment and dropping them create new recycler nodes? Yes. New recycler macro just drops. Alright, we're looking for FMP or fuel cell. FMP, fuel cell. I'm visualizing them in my head and my brain. Okay, never happened. Oh man. Can't believe I got rid of the fuel cell, dude. I mean, it made sense at the time, but I want it back. Scrapper time, and then we can leave. I don't actually think that Shuriken is that bad here. We have so much. How much bleed do we have? One. 5 of these? Dude, you know what? Alright. MB is on next stage. Okay. I'm trusting. I hate how rare FMP build is. It's like, I think there's like a chart, right? Where it's like, if something is too common, it may not be that fun. If something's a little, like, some rare aspect to it, it's like, ooh, it enhances the fun. But when it goes to being too rare, it's like almost not fun again to even think about. Because it's just like annoying. The annoyance of the journey to get it is like worse than just getting it. An 84 save. There was another one? Excuse me? I don't even believe that, actually. Oh. Dude, if we get an FMP, it's actually, like, it actually works, though. So, but that's a lot to gamble. It's, 3 of our green scrap. And I don't even think we would need it anyway, so it would be cool, but key, I'm gonna wait to get that, but we are like taking that out of here. Or it's a bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug. We had so much loot that I really doubt it'd be something else, but and I know for a fact we're just not gonna get any equipment terminals this stage. It's just they're not gonna show up. Every time we're close to an FMP build, it will just never pop. I'm probably gonna have to take that out of the stage. Yeah, impressive. Not a single equipment terminal on the map with the most equipment terminals in the game. It's funny how that just works that way, you know? The game's not even trying to hide it. It just fucking hates you. We'll scrap if we can the soul down and Kaggers the stage. So many ATGs this run. I got 2 extra plimps, but I got 10 ATGs from our printer and drops and stuff. Anyways, just want to pop in here real quick to ask, how do you get good Mando runs? Whenever I try, I never get enough damage, so things never die on time. I just keep taking up, which makes things even harder to kill. One of the bigger things is understanding the damage fall off in the game. It's really important to know that if like an enemy to commando is like right here, you're doing like way less damage. If they're like right here, you're doing like full damage. And if they're like right here when you're shooting them, you're doing like half damage. So the trick is to get in really close But also the trick is just to, I guess, understand that damage multiplication is better than additional damage stacking on like the same item. Indifferent cruelty of the universe this time wins. I don't even think it's indifferent. I think it's like meditated actual cruelty. But I think the FMP example is a perfect example for how you can ruin some builds. I say ruin builds in quote. The ruin builds with just like an over induction of items drowning out a tier, or drowning out the ratios that should work. It's really a problem going forward if Gearbox doesn't make any speed items or doesn't make any connecting synergy items to the things that already exist, because like getting crit, for example, with like predatory and like the glasses may have a future where it's just never something that even works. And so items like predatory and scythe will become just unusable at some points, right? Like we have to, these are things to consider as the pool gets larger. Yeah, the same has happened for some equipment builds, I think. Specifically FMP that needed so much to actually work. Sometimes you would actually just get it. Now it's like almost an impossible thing to get without looping. That one item that divides the damage and multiplies projectiles can make proc builds even stronger. Yeah. Be crazy. Hello, gentlemen. As I'm just really hoping they find some other system like Vodams or ads without diluting the pool. The thing is, they might, right? And I hope they do. I really, from the bottom of my heart, hope they do that. They're adding in a lot of white and green items already, which means we already know that the pool is already being more diluted. So you don't pick up that second dagger on purpose? Yes. I was not sure whether there was a recycler on the stage or not. And if there was a recycler on the stage, I could have turned that into something more useful for my build, like a behemoth or headset or something. But now that I'm decently sure there's no recycler, I'm probably just gonna go nabbit. Screenshots of new wine grounds, yes. So I don't know. I think that is one thing that could make me really not like the DLC, is if I can't get any speed or I can't get any fucking just any builds that I like and it's just full of like whatever, and it would just promote a more loopy gameplay, which I already don't want. But we will see. Alright, take no scrappers, nothing matters. Maybe about the new trailer? Seems interesting. I won't know till I play it. So, like, I can guess a lot of things, but here's the thing. I don't know how Seeker or Chef or whatever is going to interact with all of the new shit they're adding. So I have no idea. Like, if Seeker were just plopped down in this version of the game as is in this whatever, I'd be like, she seems almost slightly out of pace with the revive, but like, the rest seems okay. And interesting, actually. But we just don't know yet. Alright, we're getting, what, 14 of these? So... Alright, log in. This is a lot of damage. I'm happy with this situation. Even scrap? I mean, I don't even have a scrapper, so it doesn't matter. If I could scrap the gomes, it'd be one thing, but... I'm not gonna risk the feather either. 12 plimp? Yeah, it's been kind of a run. Okay. I'm taking the Dios, brother. I don't really want anything else. Ah, I do want something else. I really want something else. Fuck another life. We're taking the ICBM. Is there anything else I can get? I could get more Kaggers. That could be cool. I am not so desperate that I would want to even get the Dios for a feather here. It's insane plimp damage. Just wait till we start mithrix, dude. Double your effective DPS. It's about to go crazy, dude. Okay. All right. I'm not very fast. That's crazy. ATG could never. It would never do that, dude. I'm actually faster than I was. I wouldn't even get an ATG proc this fucking fight, dude. That's the crazy part. Alright. Good damage. Good run. Good. What do you think? Is that a fun YouTube run, or? I think it's pretty fun. We haven't had a run like that in a while, where we just absolutely fucking decimate Umbral. And if you recall, I did say, if you want to be in the YouTube video, you can say hi. And Kami put everyone in the YouTube video that said hi, so you can say hey if you want. Kami's a generous editor. And they're gonna hate me for saying that, because now I have to add like 1 million comments. That was a good run though. I mean, dude, actually I'm not crazy. The amount of speed we had was 2 speed plus 3 mocha, so it was only like 3.5 speed. I knew I was low, but I was like, there's no way we have less than like Berserker Pauldron type speed, right? But we did.